the galleries where I went after work in New York, most of the paintings were priced around $30,000. And I remember one painting, it was just it was about 2 feet by 2 feet, and it was all just red paint, the solid, and that was $30,000. And I couldn't see quite how it had that value, but the wine and cheese was good, and I never bought anything.
Well, so much of art is determined by the artist and how collectible the artist is. And someone who collects, serious collector of abstract paintings, maybe that would be just what they were looking for their collection, painting of red. So
maybe I should tell my computer next time to do just one color and one square, and I can get $30,000 for it.
I don't know about that. I think that you have to have a pretty established reputation to be able to do that.
Oh, I need that
and I
first.
think that it really, when I was talking about intention a while ago, I think there was a period of time in art history where the intention was purely conceptual. I think about using paint as a medium. What can paint express? What can you do with paint? And pushing the limits of what is paint, what is art. There was a lot of that in American art for a period of time during the, and so I think it may not be the value of this particular red piece, but it's how it fits into the context of art in our culture, in our history, and in art movements, and also it pushes the idea of what's art. It makes people think. I mean, here we are having this conversation about this. Whereas if it would have been a pastoral scene of a red barn, we probably wouldn't even be talking about it because we accept that as painting and we accept that as art. But yet you see this 2 by 2 square of red for $30,000 and it stops and makes you think, why is this worth money? Why is this art? Why is this here? So sometimes that's the value of a piece.
But if I were to pay the $30,000 and get it to be at home, what would I tell my dinner guests? There's a red, it doesn't fit into any context.
Well, if you were a serious collector of art, and if you were known as a serious collector of art, people would know that that was a valuable painting, or you wouldn't have it.
Well, that's an idea.
But I think art's more than just about money. Art is about how it touches you. So you would have to, in my opinion, you don't buy art for money. You don't buy it as an investment, people do, but you buy art you love. You buy art that speaks to you. So you would not buy that red painting because it means nothing to you.
That's right.
So I think that's what art is about, is really purchasing things that you want to live with, that become active members of your household and become very important to you. So you wouldn't buy something that didn't speak to you.
Do you have any sisters or brothers?
I have a sister and a brother.
Are they both married also?
No.
No?
No.
Neither of them?
No.
So we can't go into their gender orientations.
Well, I know you're going to cut this out, but I'm stumbling here, but I mean, I don't know how much you want to get into actual experiences that I had growing up that formed my passion for this type of work, but I can
Yes,
certainly...
I'm sure people would be interested in that.
I struggle with that because I don't want people to think that I feel sorry for myself for these experiences, because I don't. But I've had, my most recent experience, I would say, was a couple of years ago. People tend to think that there is equality now and that women have the same opportunities as men. And I think there is a lot more opportunity for women now across all fields. But there's still a social stereotyping that goes on. And a recent experience that I had that speaks to this was I was at a home store, and this was a few years ago, and I was trying to buy some material to patch a house, drywall. I was trying to buy some material, and I'd never done that. And I was in a home goods store, and my husband was with me, but he was in a different aisle. And I was looking at all the different patch kits and the drywall and the tape and the materials that you would need, and I just wanted some advice. And I asked a clerk, a young man, and I was asking his opinion about what I needed to buy. And at one point, after a couple of my questions, he got a little exasperated and said to me, "Don't you have a husband that can help you with this?" So, you know, these are some of the more subtle, that wasn't so subtle, but these are some of the ways, I think, on a personal level, there's still a lot of prejudice out there against women's abilities to do things, such as fix a hole in their drywall. So.
Well, maybe we're moving in the right direction, but we have ways to go yet.
And that isn't even talking about the institutional prejudice that keep women from having equal opportunities, but that's just a more personal experience.
Do you have a day job outside of your photography?
I do. I teach photography for Burlington City Arts. I teach in the summer, and I teach after school. I teach young children how to use the darkroom. I also teach digital photography for them, and I teach adults 35 millimeter camera, both digital and film. And I work at Essex High School working with special ed students as well.
You teach for Burlington City RSS.
I do.
They're in the firehouse next to the City Hall, right?
They
Burlington.
are. Yeah. Yep.
I often go there to their art shows.
They have wonderful shows, very interesting shows, very non-traditional shows, I think, that really challenge people and expand people's ideas of what is art. Yep, they're a great organization, and they provide classes for all levels, from beginners to more advanced students, from young children to adults. Yeah.
You said that you had traveled considerably around America. Have you traveled abroad very much?
Not in a long time. No, not in a long time. I've been to the West Coast, the East Coast, of course, Canada, Mexico. Lately, I've been going to Michigan quite a lot for family reasons. Florida. We have family in Florida. We like to visit them. So I've done mostly American travel, United States travel.
I enjoy traveling too. I traveled in 30 countries,
Wow.
but I especially found France to be a worthwhile experience, and the studies at the Sorbonne in Paris. You might enjoy that sometime. You don't have to be, there's no age limit for studying art at the Sorbonne. And, I went there after I had graduated from law school and spent a summer, and then I went back and spent the fall semester. We studied French 5 hours a day, 5 days a week, and as in the course of learning the French, we studied the history of art and the history of France. And I ended up writing a 20-page paper in French on the history of the Ile Saint-Michel. But the art part of it, I also do abstract art.
Oh.
I did a TV show here the year before last, which was all abstract art.
Okay.
So we have something in common there.
We do. We do.
Well, Michelle, I want to thank you for coming. And for the people at home, thank you for tuning in for another edition of Vermont Today. And hope to see you again for the next show.